Have you just been asked to serve as trustee and you don't want to, but you're not quite sure how to say no? Maybe you've been asked because you're the responsible one, or you're the oldest child, or honestly, somebody just couldn't think of somebody else to name. But here's the truth. You can say no. And in many cases, you should. Whether you're overwhelmed, dealing with your own health issues, or simply just not interested, these are all valid reasons. In this video, I'll show you how you can take a step back from acting in this role and offer a different role instead. And if you want more practical tips like this, be sure to join our newsletter. It's packed with clear, helpful guidance and no legal jargon. So there could be a lot of reasons why somebody's chosen to name you as successor trustee. Maybe you're the responsible one in the family. Maybe you're the only one in the family. Like, I was an only child, so I was named as successor trustee. Now, I'm okay with that role because I know what I need to do, but a lot of people do not. Maybe you're the oldest child in the family, and for some reason, especially in some cultures, that means something like you're more responsible or you're more mature. And then it's just possible that the settler, the person creating the trust, just has a very small circle of friends and they just thought you'd be the best one. But acting as trustee is not a small role. It can take up a lot of your time and energy. It usually takes at least 3 to 6 months to complete a trust administration. It's not just like a magic wand where you sign here and there and everything's done. You really have to dive deep into the assets and make sure that they're all transferred in the right way. And it can be even worse because some beneficiaries can be uncooperative. Or maybe the settler has some very unusual assets like properties in other states, or maybe they have guns that can only be distributed to certain people. And so it takes even longer to go through this process. Now, every trust administration is different, so it's really impossible to estimate exactly how much time and energy it might take you, but these examples are real. It can take a very long time. That doesn't sound too good, does it? So you should say no if, first of all, you're just too busy. This is like taking on an additional part-time job. Yes, maybe you'd like the salary, but would you take on a different part-time job in your current life situation? If the answer is no, then you probably shouldn't take on this part-time job either. You should also say no if you have health issues. I've helped with several trust administrations where the named successor trustee ended up in the hospital for different reasons. They had severe health issues, and the trust administration languished for years because I couldn't get the trustee to do what they needed to do. This isn't fair for anyone. It's not fair for the beneficiaries. It's not fair for the trustee who is named. So please avoid putting yourself in that situation in the first place. Or maybe your life is changing in many ways. Maybe you're in the process of retiring, or you're moving, or you're going through another big life change, and you just don't have the emotional bandwidth for this. And then it could be that you just don't want to do it. Some people don't like paperwork. I mean, it's hard for me to imagine because a lot of my job depends on paperwork, but that's not a lot of people's jam. Or maybe you don't want to deal with the family that's involved. It could be your family, it could be somebody else's family, but you just don't want to wade into those waters. That's totally valid. And to let you know, there's a big legal reason for saying no, because if you're acting as trustee, there could be a lot of liability on your shoulders. Let me give you an example, okay? If you have beneficiaries who are pressuring you to distribute out some of the money early, and you distribute out too much, and then later you have a tax bill that becomes due, and the beneficiaries have already spent their money, and you say, hey, please return to me the money so I can pay this tax bill, and they go, sorry, we don't have that money. You, as trustee, are personally liable to pay that tax bill. I know, it really stinks, but that's the law.
Did you know my mom has a monthly newsletter where she shares helpful information? Click below to join.
So there's a couple of other roles that you could offer to play. Maybe you just say, hey, I'll be the unofficial advisor to someone else. You know, you say, hey, why don't you name this other family member and I'll step in and I can help them out. There's liability to doing that as well, but you may feel comfortable with that role. A lot of individuals offer to act as trust protector. Now, what's a trust protector? This is someone who oversees the trustee, but really their role is pretty minimal. So they get yearly accountings, they can remove and replace the trustee, and they can see how money is being managed. So they can step in if there's some big emergency or something needs to be changed, but otherwise it's pretty much business as usual. I have a video called Trustees versus Trust Protectors, so you can see how that works. So that's something that you can offer instead. They ask you, hey, can you act as trustee? And you say, no thanks, but I'm happy to act as trust protector. So how do you just say no? I want to provide you with a sample script. Now you can say it however you want, but it's really not that hard. First, it's good to acknowledge that you're flattered. Thank you so much for considering me for this role. I'm honored that you would think of me for this and you think that I'm responsible. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm the right person for this role because, and then you fill in the blank. If you have any reasons you want to share, you can share them, or you just cut out the because and you just say, I don't think I'm the right reason for this role. Please don't name me, period. Now, they should be very happy to hear this from you because then they can do the work of finding a different successor trustee who will work better instead of leaving a mess. Because if you decide not to be trustee after they're gone, and maybe they didn't tell you and you didn't have a chance to object, but then do you have a way to name a successor trustee? It depends on the trust. It depends on a lot of things. So it's much better while the settler's still alive and has capacity that they can look around for somebody else. And of course, you can offer to act in a different role. Maybe you can offer to say, hey, I'd be happy to help you interview different private professional fiduciaries or banks or trust companies. I can be there to help you choose. Or maybe you offer, as I mentioned, to act as trust protector. Or maybe you just say, no thanks, happy to be here just as your friend. Again, it's all dependent on what you feel most comfortable with. So if you're still feeling unsure about just saying no, or you want help figuring out your options, check out my videos on trustee roles and trust protectors. And don't forget to subscribe for more estate planning insights that actually make sense.
If this video is helpful for you, share it to someone else who might benefit from it.